So today we're going to be working with some colored pencils. If you want to, you can use watercolors if you feel better using those, but we haven't used colored pencils for a little while, so I thought that we could start with that. And I provided you with a pre-drawn picture. And what I want to do is kind of show you about, you might not have, I've got like a 60 count colored pencil set. You probably don't have that big of a color set, but you can use the same color of pencil, and the amount of pressure that you put on it will drastically change the look of your flower. So you can do it nice and lightly like I'm doing here, using the tip, and then you can bear down on it a little bit more and go around the outside of it to give it a different look. Okay, so using the tip very lightly. Bearing down on the tip. And then going around the outside of the petal. So this takes it from, just simply doing sort of a coloring sheet to one where you're playing around with getting different effects with the same pencil. Again, more pressure. Lighter. Notice that I go around with the line before coloring it in. That helps to avoid crossing that line and gives you a nice crisp edge. Now, if you're using watercolor, you can get the same effect by using more water on the parts that you want to be lighter and less water on the parts that you want to be darker. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same sort of thing with I have a brown, but I'm going to give it a little bit of texture by just doing little dots with the end. So with this one, you can do it lighter, and then where they're crossing, you can do it darker. some darker. And that brings out a whole different look and feel to your flower. Now it looks like kind of a fun flower, right? If you want to, you can do some darker lines through here. And with this one, I mixed a dark green and my brown. So in this one, we have a little more room, so you can do it on the side of your pencil as well. And you can do some darker using the more pressure. And the tip of your pencil. Okay, so I have, here's a few leaves. So I have a medium size, medium shade of green. And then I can take my darker green and give it some shading on its underside. Kind of, there we go. And then take your dark green and shade that underside. and a little bit where the leaves are going behind each other because there's not as much light gets on that. And then you can sort of blend it so it gets, the shading gets lighter and lighter as you get away from the underside. This one's kind of behind and below everything, so I'm going to make the whole thing a little bit darker. This one's going to be darker when it's coming out of the vase. This is a very light yellow, kind of like a buttercup. And then I'm going to go over it with some gold to brighten it up, sort of. But not covering up the first layer all the way. You can also just do this with just your yellow by doing the light touch followed by the heavy touch like I demonstrated up here. Okay, so you can continue on with that side of the flowers. We also are going to do the vase, and I'm going to make it a dark purple and white stripe. You can make it whatever color you think will go well with the colors of your flowers, or contrast. And then you can do the diagonal stripes. And when you get done with those, then you can do, and if you're afraid that you're going to forget which ones to color and which ones not to, you can put just a little dot every other one to remind yourself. Okay, so when you're done with all of that, if you want to, you can also do a background. So you can draw, if you want to use a pencil, whatever you can draw, like a table. You can make a tablecloth. You've got more area to cover, so you can put the pencil on its side. You can do a little bit of a background color above if you'd like. You can make your table line a little darker. And then if you want to make it a little darker where the shadow, again, that's giving it a little, just a little contrast that helps to give it some depth. Okay, so I'm not going to have you watch me do all of the flowers or the vase because it's pretty much the same technique, and I want you to just experiment and have fun with color and practicing different intensities of pushing down on your pencil or not pushing down on your pencil very hard, and you know, play around with your background, and just, you know, and just relax and have a great time. Thanks.